Hey YouTube, uh, welcome to a YouTube video because I don't think I've made a YouTube video in over, I don't know, like a year. So, today we're gonna be learning about Roblox Lua coding. So, um, yeah, let's get in. So this is for, my beginner series on, how to code, in Lua or Roblox Lua specifically. So, the first episode I think we're going to be learning about is probably variables and properties of the studio. So, what your studio should look like right now is it might be white because I have changed settings. So let me just change my, or if I can remember. Um, I don't know if I. Anyways, but your studio might be set default to white, so yours might look a little different, but that's nothing to worry about. Um, So first, let's start off with the toolbox. So if it kind of is self-explanatory, it's a toolbox. It's a library for people to grab items from. So like um, grass base plate, like you can just drag it, drop it here, or you can even have a search thing you can do. You can type in GigaChad, and you got yourself a GigaChad. You got good. But you can also put them in categories as well. You can do plugins, which they know about audio, images, videos. So that's the toolbox. They also have scripts as well, which if you don't know what a script is, it's just it's a code. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It just holds code basically. So this is a script right here. This would be a script. So they things can have scripts in them. So if you want to see if they have a script in it, all you have to do is hover over the item you want to drag and drop. So for example, this one, the sword, as you can see, it says has scripts. So it's letting you know that it will have scripts into it. So we drag and drop and we open it up, the property. It has a sword script and a mouse icon. So that's how you know if it does have scripts or not. Um, the second thing is, let's look about, we'll go to the Explorer. Okay, the Explorer. So as you can see, we have a lot of things here. We have workspace, players, all this stuff. So, okay, we're gonna ignore like all this sound service chat, all this stuff for right now. We'll just start here. So first, the workspace. The workspace is everything that is in your game that you want a player to see. So when I spawn in, right, when I play the game, I can see the base plate. Which this is a base plate, and as you can see, I'm standing on it. It's here. But if we drag and drop this to any other players, lighting all the way down anywhere in here, it disappears because workspace is where every single part or anything that you want to be visible is going to be located. So just make sure you keep it in workspace if you want it to be seen. Now, that doesn't mean you have to put parts in workspace. Most people, for some examples, we'll get in later, but you can put them in server storage or replicate storage. But for now, every part that you're going to be creating is going to be in workspace for right now. Second thing is players. So let's play in. As you can see, we have a player, and that's my username. So this is just a store for players, like it's storing players. So it's nothing really special. It's just a category to hold players into. And you have properties in here. Well, we're gonna properties later though. You have lighting. That's just where like your skybox is. So like for example, we have let's make a dark skybox. And if we drag and drop it into here, it's all dark, and that is located in the lighting. So if you want to change like the background or anything, then that's where it would go. Next is material service. We can skip that. Replicate it first. We can also skip that. Replicate storage. Yeah, we'll skip that as well. service, it's just a place to store your scripts at. So so your scripts are organized, so they're not like scattered everywhere. So this is just an organization tool for you. Server storage is another organization tool. So you can have access to stuff that it's just like most of all these things are really organization. So that's all you need to know for now. Organization, server storage, and server script service. It's just storage, basically. Okay, starter GUI. I don't know if I want to get into this. Okay, so basically here you don't really need to know this right now at least, but starter GUI is just for GUI. So it's just a like you can put like screen text like right on the, you know, you don't need to know about it right now, but just know that this is GUI and we'll learn about this later. Starter pack, it's everything that is a tool. So like if you have a sword or a gun or anything, that's what's going to be stored is in the starter pack. Starter player, we can skip that. Teams is just self-explanatory. It's teams, like you can assign teams to different players. We'll get into that later. Sound service, okay, we can skip all this. The second thing we're gonna learn now, or third thing, is we're gonna learn properties. So pretty much every single thing has properties. So you have all this properties. You have properties in here. You have properties. Just everything has properties, pretty much. I think that's sums up for properties. We'll be looking more into properties later, but just know that it's just to change appearances or change just change properties of stuff. The last thing about Studio really, we'll talk about output later, but that's when we get into the actual scripting part. Is the I guess you call it the menu, I guess, of yours. Oops, you would call this the menu, I guess. So you have your home, which is where you have the toolbox. You can assign that. You can create a GUI, which is the member in the starter GUI. You can press play. That's how it was, playing the game. You have your terrain editor, so you can, create terrain. We'll talk about that later too. 3D. So that's about that. Oh, and also you have your scaling tools or your movement tools. So this will you can rotate the tool or rotate like a part or anything, scale it, move it, select it. Model. This is not really anything you need to know because it's mainly if you're going to go into building, then you're going to want to know this. But if you're not going into building, then you don't really know this. And I'm not going to be going over building because I don't do that. So avatar, same thing. Building, tests, you don't really need to know that. You can create like a 2-player and you can start it. Like if you want to test something that has 2 players, you can start that. It's yeah, there it goes. I'll just show you. Yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Okay. Okay. What? Okay. Yeah. So you have 2 players. You can switch between them. I think, or I don't. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but let's close out that. So then you have that. You have view, which is you can view. View is sorry. That's kind of got a little sidetracked. View is all the things you can see. So for example, we have Explorer right here, or Explorers, my bad. So that means that if we uncheck this, it means that we can't see the Explorer anymore. So if we uncheck properties, we can't see properties. So, if you want to get rid of toolbox, you just go to view, click toolbox, and toolbox is gone. Or if you want to, you could just click the X or the X on any of these. Plugins are not important right now. They're just useful if you want to make things easier. UI, GUI stuff. So that sums it up for everything about on Studio, really. Yeah, you went over everything: toolbox, explorer, properties, the menu, I guess you would call this. Now let's go on to scripting. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to go to workspace, and we'll insert a script by doing this. So this is our first script, first ever script. So trying to think right now what we should learn. We'll learn about variables. That's the first thing I learned about. So let's learn about that. Okay, so what is variable? A variable is how do I put this? It stores data, and that data could be anything. It can range from string data, which would be you'd put quotation marks and you would write your data, or it could range from numbers, so you can write numbers, or you can go from parts of the word. You can assign anything really a variable, really, besides core features of Roblox. We'll get into that later. So to create a variable, what you would do is you'd first name it. So you would name anything. So we'll just name it Roblox scripting help. Then you would do equal. So you would set it equal to whatever you want it to be. So then you would set it equal to string data, which could be anything. It could be hello. So basically what we just did is we did Roblox scripting help is equal to hello. So if the data this is holding right now is holding hello. So here's a feature we can do. It's called print, and print basically means here's where we're getting the output. Output means it just shows anything, any errors, anything that you print here will show up here. So for example, if we print Roblox scripting help, and then we run it, it prints hello. And as you can see, it didn't print, Roblox scripting help. It printed hello because, again, Roblox scripting help is equal to the string hello. And that goes for the same for numbers. You can enter a bunch of numbers. You run it. It has a bunch of numbers. Another thing you can do is you can also assign it a object. So if we insert a part, this is how you insert a part. You click on your home and you click part. You will get a part, and we'll name this to oops, my bad. We'll name this to if we want oops, one way. Okay, there, sorry, my bad. You name it to my part. And now what we can do is we do Roblox scripting is equal to game, which is let me back up for a second. Game is the game. Basically, that's why game is the game. So game dot workspace. So we're getting the workspace, which is located inside the game. So the game is just I can't really explain it, but it's just the game. So you would just do game.workspace. So we're getting the workspace. And we would do game.workspace dot my part. So we type in my part. And then now Roblox scripting help is equal to a part in the workspace. So if we print it now, it's going to print whatever my part is named. So it's going to print my part. Or we can change it to not my part. If you run it. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Not my part. then it'll print not my part. Now there's also things you can do with this. You can print properties of, you can access properties of the variables. Can do a lot of things. They can also access properties of the part, or anything really. So if we wanted to get the transparency of a part, transparency just means if it's visible or not. So if we increase the transparency, it will become less visible. But if we decrease it, it will become more visible. So it goes 0 to 1. So 1 invisible, 0 not visible. So we can get the transparency of it. So now we have assigned our variable to the transparency of not my part. So then what we could do is we could print it, and it would print the transparency of the part. So if we want to put it to 0.35, it'll print 0.35 basically. So yeah, that's basically what variables do. They you can assign them to basically anything. Now, like I said earlier, you cannot assign them to like core features of Roblox. So like example of this would be Roblox is equal to if. That would not work, because if is a core feature of Roblox. You cannot use if as a variable statement. So you have to keep it simple. Not simple, but you just can't name it core features that have to do with coding. Variables, print. So we learned print, and we're learning about properties. That's good. What's another thing? I don't know if would be too. We'll learn about wait, actually. We'll learn about wait. So wait is literally just what it says. Wait. It's just gonna wait, and you just put your seconds in here. So whatever number is inside the wait parentheses, it will wait for that like amount of time. So if we put wait 466, it will wait 466 seconds. If we put wait 1, guessed it, it'll wait 1 second. We'll do this. We'll do print hello 1. We'll wait 3 seconds. It'll print hello 2. If you run this, it's gonna print instantly hello 1. It's gonna print hello 2. That's basically what wait does. Just waits. Now, wait could be a really useful feature, because let's say you want to let's see, this will be a good example of wait. Like, let's say you have a big part, right? You have a big part, and then you want to make it to where you want to wait 3 seconds before it turns invisible. So you want the player to see it. So we would do wait 4 seconds. And then remember, we can do a variable. So we can do not my part is equal to game dot workspace dot not my part dot transparency is equal to 1. Or hold on, oops, my bad. Dot transparency. So then you can do not my part is equal to 1. So when we run the game, it's gonna wait, and then it goes invisible. What did I do wrong? Here, we won't use a variable for this. So actually, it's actually more confusing doing that. I think we'll actually just use the data model, actually. So it's the same thing as a variable. It's just that you're not setting it so you can call it later. It's just that you just assign it right then and there. So you just do the exact same thing as a variable, just without the first without the variable part. So just without the equal in the variable. cd game.workspace dot not my part dot transparency is equal to 1. Rerun this. Wait 4 seconds. Turn to visible. So that's another way you can do that. I don't want to put in your mind that you only use variables to change properties and stuff, because that's not what you do. You do it to shorten stuff down. I want to teach y'all about if statements, but they're really complicated. So I don't want to get into that today, or it's actually night for me. But I think that's it for today. Tonight, we learned I think we learned a pretty good amount. We learned about variables, properties of the workspace, toolbox, menu, output, and you should have just created your first script if you're brand new to coding. So I hope you're proud of yourself if you follow along, and I'll see you.